everyone, I'm Nicole and I am a program manager at Future Females. I'm really excited to be joining you at TechFest today and of course to chat about all things Trello. For those of you who may not be familiar with the tool, Trello is essentially a project management tool, or what most would simply consider a to-do list tracker. I'm really looking forward to showing you how useful it can be for you and your business. So we'll get stuck in soon. A few use cases or ways in which Trello is used on an everyday basis is that it can be used to manage your everyday to-do lists, so tracking your tasks. It can also be used as a Kanban board for developing software using the agile methodology, and then as well as for sorting or storing team information for company-wide access. As I said, I'm looking forward to going through the tool with you. Yeah, let's get started. Right, so for the sake of this tutorial, we'll be going from start to finish. So you can create a Trello account by just going to trello.com. You have a few options in which you can essentially sign up to the system. You can use your Gmail, or if you're using Microsoft, you can use your Microsoft account. You ignore the side here. I'm not sure why that's saying that, because as you can see, Trello is obviously working. So you can create a team name. I'll do one for the sake, so in the scenario that we are creating a team for community managers or social media managers. And then you also have the option to select your team type. And then what is wonderful about Trello is that it is a collaborative tool. So instead of just having one person on the board, you have two options. You can create a private board as well as a team board, which is really, really handy for working in a collaborative or cross-functional team dynamic. So let's get started. So we'll call this team Future Females Community. The team type can fall under marketing, and we won't add anybody today. Since I head up the Future Females Founder Club, we'll just continue. And then you have the option to start your free trial. Right, so you'll have the option to start your free trial, and even though it says that you will be billed, or that you will be billed after the trial, there's a button at the bottom that says start without business class, which is really, really great, which means once you click that button, you will be redirected into Trello and get ready for you to start your boards. Right, so this is your Trello board. Once you've confirmed, you'll be redirected to a Trello board. I've created one in advance for the sake of the tutorial, but I will run you through everything you see here. So you will see a number of lists. So it says to do, doing, and done. This essentially represents your workflow and will be an indication of where you are with any project or given task. Each list is made up of your to-dos, which is also referred to as cards, which you will see it asks you to add another card. To make sure you don't get confused, a card, as I said, is just another word for a task that will have a subset of to-dos that you can check off. And we'll go through those in a moment. I wanted to make sure that we do a thorough walkthrough of the features so that you are familiar with the options you have before creating your different tasks. So when you, this is obviously your settings bar. So this is where you can edit your profile, etc. Two of the most important features to keep in mind are that you can have a private board. So only people who have access to the board, which that can be just you or one or two members if you're working on a specific project. You can also have a company-wide board that will give your team access and visibility on the project you're working on, and then also allow for cross-functional teams to contribute or to delegate between each other. this will be an important tool for you to be aware of. As I said, if you are opting to use Trello for a more collaborative workspace, you can invite your team members using this option here. What will then happen is that they will receive a notification in their Gmail or Outlook or whichever email provider you use, and then redirect them to either set up or log into their Trello. So that is essentially how you would invite someone to a board. It's as easy as, saying Nick Mount as an example. There's one of my, so it picks me up there so I can be added. So off the invitation goes. Wonderful. Yeah, so other things that I would mention really quickly is how to set up your cards. So I've already added this card. As I mentioned, for the sake of the tutorial, we will be going through a community exercise, and our task here will really be to define the events for the fourth quarter. So you can add in a description, which really gives you an indication of what the subset or what the task or project will be. So I just added a one-liner to be quite simple, and it reads, create an events plan for the fourth quarter of 2020. You want to then save that. You then have the option to create a checklist, which we've added, but we'll add another one, which we will call checklist 2. Just to give you visibility on what that looks like. And then, you can create a number of actions that will form part of your to-do year. So my first action would be to define the events for the next 3 months. So essentially coming up with event topics and themes. One of the themes I've come up with, which will be software tools for startups to use, which is obviously quite broad, but we can knuckle down on what those will look like. And then another to do could be, what I'm doing right now. If you wanted to take this as an example and you wanted to do a training or an event on how to use Trello, once you're up and ready, you can, I've just added here to create an Eventbrite for Trello as a toolkit tutorial. So you can also use the activity tab. And I just want to highlight what makes Trello so great is that it is really an all-in-one. So instead of having, you're talking on WhatsApp, or I don't know if you have a WhatsApp group or you've got Slack, and some people talk on Facebook as well. Facebook groups, you want to create a centralized repository or a central place to hold your communications. So what makes Trello really great is that you can do that within your card. With project management tools, it's always better to over communicate than have anything go unsaid or fall through the cracks. So what I've added here, as you can see a few minutes ago, is just added, say, a team member, let's call her Lauren. And what I've done here is to say that all is good for the Q4 events. Have I missed anything? So saying once I've done all of my to-dos here and ticked off my checklist, that's just giving her a indication that I've done that, and then giving her an opportunity to go through what I've done and then just to have a look and then just show you how that's done. Let's add another person. Let's say Kirst is working on this with me. I will say at Kirst, great work on the designs, because as you know, when you are planning events, there are usually designs that go with it for your marketing collateral. So I'll say great work on the designs. Thank you. So those are just examples of the way you can use Trello to communicate with your team. Another fantastic feature is that you can set a deadline. I will set mine for Thursday the 26th as an example, and then you can set a reminder. What's great here is that you can set a reminder for 2 days before your deadline comes, which again is on the 26th of November. or a few hours before that happens even. Um, it's really great to get an indication of how you're doing, especially if you're going to use a productivity tool. You want to make sure that you are leveraging it well. So to get an indication of where you are is a really good feature, in my opinion, and also just a way to track how the team is doing. So let's save that. Another way that you can use your card or add onto it is by attaching a photo or a Google document that you may be working on, aside from your to-do list, because this is where you are listing what you have to do, what you will do, will either fall part of your Google Suite, so whether that is an Excel sheet or a document. It's really handy to add that here as a reference for the team to have visibility on. Yeah, and then I will just go out here to show you the reason why it obviously says doing and done. It's really great to get an indication of where you are in your workflow. So obviously I've checked off that I've done 3 of my tasks. So once Lauren or Chris have a look at what I've done and they give me the go ahead that everything looks fine, or if I've missed anything, their feedback, it will stay on here. Once everything has been executed, it will go to done. This list will continue growing and you will eventually, quite literally, get things over the line. So what is also quite wonderful is adding on plugins. So you have an array of plugins to add to just maximize your time on Trello. You can go through these and see if you are familiar with any of these systems. I am going to Google Calendar. I'm just showing you this because, again, it's important to know what is available to you and just to maximize your time on Trello. What this does, it's quite simple. It lets you know you can add the plugin and then visualize your Trello cards in your calendar view, which is wonderful. So once you add this, what you've added to your boards essentially will then show up in your Google Calendar. So your to-dos will be in more than one place. So it just gives you a prompt to be like, or to give you an indication of what is coming up or when your deadline is coming up. Yeah, so we'll just go back to our board. Another great thing to do is, like, as you see, I've got a beautiful little background here. You can click on the show menu button and you have the option to create a background using the photos that are provided by Upsplash, or adding a color that you may enjoy, or a custom one that you can essentially upload from your computer. It's always nice to have an inspiring, beautiful picture in the background to look at as you work through your to-do list and meet your deadline. So quite nice add-on there. Yeah, so we have come to the end of our tutorial. I've used Trello for a few years now, and while there are a number of available tools online, Trello has been really valuable for working across teams. For the communication purposes, seeing how far along you are in your workflow, adding members for cross-functional teams or to delegate towards your team members. And yeah, adding your due dates and being able to add in a number of attachments for visibility. Again, just to have a repository for everything that you're working on in one place. Also, not forgetting, it's really great to have that communication function so that you can essentially have an embedded communication tool. We've come to the end. So yeah, I hope that was useful. Good luck, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks, everyone.